Is there a way to help with motivation? I always feel so unmotivated to do things when I want to, even when I want to, but I just can't get myself to do it. Again, there's videos for that. Go check out the rest of the videos. Do you have any advice on how to deal with narcissistic mothers or parents? I'm sort of having trouble with that right now. I have been my whole life, but I'm trying to think of ways to fix it and deal with it now without a professional's help since I can't get that. Narcissistic parents. That's a tough one. Again, that's covered a little bit in the family videos that are already out there, but narcissists are a hard type to deal with. I mean, by nature, they really only care about themselves and what they want, and they turn everything into about them. So my advice would be to just not, I mean, you can't engage with that. I mean, I don't know what your age group is again, so when you can choose not to get involved with whatever their drama is at the moment, then just choose not to get involved with it. Choose happiness, choose yourself.
I have known a couple of friends of mine who had pretty narcissistic mothers, the kind who would put themselves first in that, and I guess both of these cases, the dad was out of the picture, so I feel like that was probably part of the reason the mothers were very, out there, I guess. I don't know. For example, one of my friends had a mom who liked to drink a lot. She was, one of those people who would make it a nightly thing with her besties. And this friend of mine was old enough to drive, so the mother would often, call her every night or text her every night and be like, hey, I need you to come pick me up, I'm drunk, I can't drive. And it was a weekly thing at least. And this friend of mine, she was just going through a lot. And there are parents who will definitely put themselves first before their kids, which is unfortunate. But, as far as, dealing with it,
don't.
I guess
say
just
it like that, but
don't let it get to your head and your heart, I guess,
Yeah.
because sometimes narcissists aren't aware of how they're affecting other people because they're just incapable, depending on whether or not they actually have a narcissistic disorder.
it always affects me when parents don't put their children as a priority over themselves. So narcissists are one of my least favorite types of people because a child did not ask to be brought into the world. When a person has a child, it is a gift. They chose to have the child in this world. The child is innocent. So if your parental people are not taking care of you properly or putting themselves first, it really annoys me, and I can't stress enough that please don't ever take that personally, because like she just said, maybe they don't know, maybe they don't get it, maybe they do and they just weren't cut out for being a good parent. It's not your fault. You deserve the very best. You did not ask for this parent. It's what you got. You work with what you have. The parents are trying to probably do their best that they know. Maybe they don't know much at all. Maybe they're very bad at it, but don't take it personally. And that's just what I want to stress, is the children out there are the innocent ones. You didn't ask for it. You didn't do anything wrong. All you can do is continue to grow, be yourself, and if you learn nothing else from your parents than what not to do, then at least that's a lesson. So take that from them. Know what not to do from someone who parents you poorly. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that that happened to you, in case no one's ever told you. Do you know how to get rid of someone toxic in your life? I've already cut them out, but it seems like they haunt me everywhere I go. Cut them out better, I guess. I'm going to assume you probably mean online, or maybe you live in a small town. But if it's online, you're going to have to remove yourself from the places they are. So let's just say they're everywhere you go on Discord. leave the servers that they're in. Don't try and maintain. If it's toxic and you've cut them out, you did it for a reason. Your sanity is more important. So even if you love that server, maybe remove yourself, or maybe just block that person so you don't have to see what they say or write or do, you know? If it's in real life, avoid the places they go if you can. Because you're probably...
Yeah, I mean, I guess if it's like an online thing, I'd block them on all of your accounts, you know, so that you don't have to like see them, or so that they can't reach out to you anymore. If it's in person, then like at school or something, then it's a little harder because, like, you know, sometimes you're forced to see them every day, especially if you have like a couple of the same classes together. But it'll get better. You know, don't give in to, like, you know, the guilt tripping or the peer pressuring that may or may not happen to rekindle that friendship. Stand your ground and just remember that you broke it off for a reason, and you'll get through it eventually. Eventually they'll move on.
It's
if you just don't
temporary.
give them the reaction, you don't give them the attention, you know, eventually they'll just move on, hopefully.
And set boundaries for yourself. Like, with maybe there's other people that know both of them. Maybe you have friends that know you and know the toxic person you broke off from. Set boundaries with your current friends. Say, my boundary is I don't want to talk about them, hear about them, anything. Otherwise, don't be friends with that person either. You need to make a clean break. And if you're trying to take someone out of your life and you've got 4 other people whispering in your ear about that person all the time, they're breaking your boundaries and they're being toxic now. Don't accept that. Don't accept other people breaking your bubble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. How can you tell if someone who is depressed is falling back into it? My mom is depressed and sometimes I'm not sure if she's falling back into it. It scares me sometimes. Almost every day she takes her medicine, but she really scares me when she hasn't for a while. She says she can't really tell when it happens, and I believe that. Yet I don't know how to tell when she's falling back into it. I know I've repeated that, but it's the main thing. I would greatly appreciate it if you could help me with it. Well, again, we've got the child being the parent. Maybe recommend nicely that she sets an alarm and takes her medicine at the same time every day. All you can do is be supportive and check in with her. How you feeling today? You know, do you want to start writing journals together or something? You know, check in with her. I mean, again, that's her journey, but I get that you want to make sure she's okay.
Yeah, in that regard, in the case of like a depression diagnosis, it's different depending on the person. And we as people who are not professionals can't really tell you
Yeah.
when to know it's happening, because we do not know your mother, we aren't her caregivers, we aren't her medical professionals that have seen her case. So unfortunately, I don't think there's much that we can do as non-professional people who are just giving advice. You know, there's not much we can really, unfortunately, say on that, but
other than encourage her to maybe talk to her doctor. If you see her
Yeah,
struggling,
you know.
say maybe go get your meds checked, because depression medication is so like 40-fold. There's so many different types and wavelengths that they have to line up to get the mixture right sometimes. So just, you know, if she's struggling, maybe encourage her to go talk to her doctor and get checked
yeah.
for her, you know, her levels and all that. But again, yeah, because we're not professionals, I can't say 100%. Open communication is your best key. But again, you know, it's a lot of pressure for you, so it's also not 100% your problem. So at some point, for your own sanity, you have to take a deep breath and make sure you're taking care of your own health at the same time. I have a really bad anxiety disorder and I'm bullied about it. I've gotten to the point of crying the second I step into school. I'm also bullied about my autism. What do I do to stop it?
If this is happening at school, I would recommend reporting the behavior to, you know, the counselor, if there's a counselor there. If not, then, you know, a school, whoever's like in charge, I guess, whether that be the principal or someone beneath him that also can help handle that. Because usually most schools are very anti-bullying. It's like just a nationwide thing, at least in the United States. I'm hoping it's worldwide. I'm pretty sure it is. But more and more schools are kind of adopting this, anti-bullying mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So they should be open to you reporting bad behavior or people harassing you, especially if people are harassing you for having autism. That's discriminatory. That's something you can't help, and that's just not okay.
And the teachers have to support you.
Exactly.
So they have to listen. They have to make it safe for you at school. So, they're breaking the law if they're not keeping it safe for you at school. Report it.
Yeah. Tell a teacher that you trust. Tell the principal. You can go directly to someone higher up.
Yeah.
Tell your parents or your parental guardian if you think that, if you trust them and you know that they'll help you. But yeah, I would definitely say get an adult involved that can help escalate it and get it taken care of so that you no longer have to go through that, because that is awful. I can't even imagine what it would be like to be harassed, for something that you can't help. It sucks. It makes you feel helpless,
Yeah.
It can take a toll on you after a while, and it's good to stand up for yourself as well, if in the meantime, while you're waiting for adults to figure it out and fix it, stand up for yourself, or just ignore them and don't give them the reaction that they're wanting, and just walk away.
Yeah.
As hard as it might be, even if they follow you everywhere, just block them out, put some earbuds in, pretend they don't exist, because if you do that long enough, they'll get bored with you, and they'll go find the next person to bug and see if they'll get a reaction out of them instead. Yeah. It's a way for them to boost their own already low self-esteem, is by bringing other people down, because they're probably in reality very insecure themselves.
Yeah.
So the only way that they can feel like, oh, I'm tough, I'm a big tough person, is to pick on the weak, at least the people they think are weak, you know? So if you're not one of those weak people and you show them that you're really just indifferent to them and you're like, whatever. You don't offend me, you should stop wasting your time, then eventually they'll just be like, oh, this person's boring to pick on, let's move on,
Definitely go watch my bullying videos.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we've covered bullying
of how to handle a bully. It works every time.
It works miracles. I went through bullying in my childhood, and sometimes all it took was just looking at them, laughing at them, and being like, you're wasting your time. And then just walk away. And eventually they'll stop, because there's nothing in it for them anymore. There's no gain for them. Instead, they're embarrassing themselves trying to make a case out of you.
And as far as the anxiety you're feeling before you go to school, putting a plan in place will lower your anxiety. So if you've talked to the teachers, you've talked to the counselors, you've got people on your side, you have a plan in case it happens, you're going to put your earbuds in, or you're just going to start reading a book, or, make a plan that you'll do every time someone tries to bully you, and you'll have that plan in the back of your head, so when you get ready in the morning for school, you won't be thinking, it's the unknown, I'm terrified, I'm anxious because I don't know what's going to happen today. Yeah, you do know what's going to happen. Make a plan. So either it's going to be fine, or if someone bullies you, you'll already know what you're going to do in the back of your head. So that'll lower your anxiety a little bit, and especially if you have people on your side, you've already had the talks. You've talked to the teachers that will know if you report it, they'll take you seriously. So, get that plan in place so that when you do go to school, if it happens, you have something you can do, and you have someone you can talk to about it at school, like a teacher, a counselor, a best friend, whatever. And having a plan, knowing how you'll handle it ahead of time, will lower your anxiety. Okay, I don't know if this was already answered, but how can you stand up for yourself? Sometimes I want to say something, but my mind would overwhelm me with thoughts like, if you say this, you're going to get in trouble, or don't say this because you'll get hurt, or thoughts like that. Also, I love your channel. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Stand up for yourself, stop listening to the voice in your head. Kind of what we just said about everything else as far as, standing up for yourself, putting up boundaries, but...
Yeah, it's good not to stoop to the bully's level. So if, the bully says, you're ugly, and then you're like, well, your toes stink, then you're just fueling that fire. You're giving them what they want. So I get the apprehension and like, man, I really want to insult this person back. It would feel so good, you know, like it's good to kind of hold back on that impulse because that can only sometimes escalate the situation instead of diffuse it.
And it's not who you are probably. You're probably a nice person and you don't want to come off not being a nice
Exactly.
person.
You don't want to be reactive because that's, in the end, what they want out of you is for you to make it a scene so that they're like, oh yeah, now we've got the emotions in there, now we're really getting them good. Instead, it is good to set boundaries and be like, please don't say that, it's not nice. And if they don't care and they keep going and you've already, you know, told them, hey, stop, then sometimes if you feel yourself wanting to say something mean, it's good to just take a deep breath and walk away.
Be the better person.
Yeah, be the bigger person, I guess. You know,
don't
walk
let them
away.
Change you.
And instead, you know, like we said in the previous question, get an adult involved, you know.
You never want to let someone else change who you are. So someone can be really ugly to you. You don't want to be ugly back because then they're changing who you are as a person. Let them be ugly, but don't you become ugly because of them. You stay nice and be like, you know what? Have a great day, or just ignore them and walk away. Don't let them change who you are.
I've done that once. There was this person who, we went to the same elementary school, then we went to the same middle school, then we went to the same high school. And this person was dead set obsessed with just harassing me at every school we went to together. You know, eventually they got less obsessive, but still like in passings, they would always say something to me. And I was like, why are you so obsessed with me? Ever since we were both like, what, 8? Like they were just constantly like honed in on me wherever I was. And if they saw me, they had to say something. And, you know, since then, it's actually been great because that person grew up and apologized to me once we were both like halfway through high school. So that was kind of nice.
But weren't you like, why are you thinking of me so much?
Exactly.
You know,
it's strange sometimes how some people can hyper fixate on someone they're intimidated by and just make it their almost like entire purpose at school to just find them and try and bring them down.
They're just hurt. They're damaged people.
Yeah, it makes me wonder, like, what are you going through that makes you so obsessed with taking this one person down?
Yeah.
And
it's weird.
But because of this person, I learned a lot of ways to, you know, shut down and diffuse the situation, including things like, have a lovely day, you gorgeous human being, I'm leaving. You know, like, you just
and they're like,
say something that really catches them off guard, where they're just like, I can't,
I have no response.
I don't know how to argue with that. Like, what? You know, you just kind of like nip it in the bud, or like just stop them in their tracks, and they're just like,
react the way they
lipstick in my Valentino white bag. You know, like they don't know what to say because now you've completely just switched topics and caught them off guard, and now they're just standing there dumbfounded like an idiot while you walk away. Yeah. And it's the best thing. It's worked a few times for me, and it's been so hilarious. It's great.
Before we leave this question, I want to take it a different route because I realize you say, how do I stand up for myself? But if you don't, or if you do, you're afraid you'll get in trouble or get hurt. And I'm also thinking maybe you mean like just standing up to your parents, like, I don't really want to go to Aunt Sally's right now. I wanted to stay home and do my homework. You know, if it's something like that where you're just having a hard time expressing your wants and needs as a human being, then you have to find your own value. You do.
This motorcycle man really has no decency. It is after the sound curfew.
It is. It's like 11 p.m. at night. Find your voice, find your value. You have a right to say no and have boundaries, even with people who are older than you. You have the right to say, I don't feel like talking right now. I don't feel like watching a movie with you right now. I don't really want to go to the store right now. I don't want to go to Aunt Sally's. I feel uncomfortable over there. You know, you have the right to express yourself. They might still make you do those things depending on the parent, but you do have the right to express yourself, and you shouldn't get in trouble. Or, what was the other thing you said? You'll get hurt. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know how you'd get hurt, but maybe they're afraid, you know, someone's going to be mad at them for speaking their mind. It's okay. And if it's a friend, if they're a real friend, they'll accept your opinion and they shouldn't hurt you because you have an opinion or a thought, and find your own voice. I just want to take it that way. In case it wasn't a bully situation, it was just finding their voice. I want to help someone with their mental health, but I don't know how to, and they rely on me a lot for help. I think we covered that one.
Yeah, we could.
You can't. You can be there to some degree, but it's on them. It's great that you want to help, but you cannot be the therapist for them. A friend is a friend, a therapist is a therapist, and you have to have boundaries. What should I do to get my permit? Because I'm turning 16 and I want to drive to my school. Study, practice.
There are online mock tests that you can take. Although,
Funny story.
for me, I would be taking these like mock tests online, right? And I'd be getting like A's, B's, sometimes a C, but like on most of them I was like passing with a pretty high grade. I go in to take my permit test and I immediately fail, like halfway through. And it just happens, you know, you can study as much as you want, but sometimes when you're actually doing it, you might brain fart or you might recall an answer slightly differently. And the rude thing about permit tests too is they have trick questions and they also have trick answers. So this is just advice for when you actually do take the real test. Read it like 5 times. Then
Make
read
sure
all
you
of your
understand.
answers like 5 times.
Read your answers before you
And
answer.
then pick the best one.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it just, the way it's worded will be so confusing that you're like, wait, what? This wasn't in any of the practice tests I took.
It helps if you read all the answers first
It
for
does,
clarification.
because then you can kind of do process of elimination, like, well, no, you wouldn't drive 1 foot away from the bike lane. That's stupid. You would literally go bonk right into the person, you know? So, like, there's some questions where you can, like, figure out what makes sense and what doesn't, you know? Like with any other test you take at school, right? You know, you, like, read all of your answers before you pick one. You know, just use good test-taking skills while you take this test, too, because it's trying to trick you.
And have fun.
And yeah, too,
Have
if you
fun.
fail,
If you
I
fail,
failed my first time.
who cares?
I know someone else who failed it 3 times and then
Yeah.
failed their driver's test 4 times. So don't feel bad.
It's not rocket
It's-
science.
yeah.
It's not brain surgery. You're not killing anyone. Thank
Yeah.
God. You're not actually getting your license yet. No, I'm just kidding. Just have
That'll
fun
be
with it.
once you are...
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, when you turn 16, you can get your
Driver's
driver's. When you're
license.
15 and a half, you can start your
Right.
permit, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
In Arizona, anyway.
In Arizona. I don't know about any other states.
But you'll be fine. I mean, just don't put too much pressure on yourself. Study the best you can. Have fun with it. Have someone quiz you. If you are driving some, then drive a lot. Grab your parent or whatever, your older sibling, and drive. And
Yep.
start making good choices now. Throw your cell phone in the glove box. Don't touch it until you've stopped and taken the keys out.
Establish good habits for yourself.
Establish good habits immediately.
I
Make
know,
sure that your windows aren't cracked. Like your windshield's not cracked, and you
Yes.
put your seatbelt on and you check all the mirrors before you take your test, because they'll watch to see if you do that.
I was just going to say that there are certain things physically with the vehicle that if those are not safe, they will instantly fail you
Yeah.
for your driver's
Make sure your
license.
blinkers work, your headlights come on.
Make sure you like fake adjust your mirrors as if you care.
Yeah.
You
like,
know.
they're already perfect probably, but
Yeah,
just
but
touch
just
them.
give them a look, you know, you make it obvious so
Yeah,
they're
they're
like, wow,
looking.
look, they're doing the thing.
Make sure when you stop, you come to a complete stop, the tires quit rolling
Yeah.
completely, and that they see you look both ways. And then do that stuff when you drive. Don't just, fake them out. Be a good
Yeah.
driver, because for God's sakes, there's a lot of crappy drivers. Just care when you're on the road. Never drink and drive. Never use any substances and drive. Always put your phone away. Don't answer it under any circumstance. Just be a good person.
And don't speed either.
Oh God, please.
Leave early enough. This
Yeah,
is just
yes,
a general
plan your
PSA. Almost every person my age that I've ridden in a car with is like going 65 on a 45, and I'm like,
I'm gonna
Girl.
die.
girl, the mall is gonna still be there in 10 minutes.
It's okay.
We can drive the speed limit. And they're like, no, we have to go. And I'm like, okay. It's really scary.
My anxiety is bad, and I'm scared to tell my parents about it. Open dialogue, you have to start telling them. Practice on a friend. Write a letter, a nice letter. Stay calm, talk to them. Like, you have to open that dialogue now, because you're going to need to talk to these people your whole life. So don't be scared. Just do it.
Just
Do it.
Don't let your dreams be dreams.
Why are you so kind? Purple bunny. Do you be friends with your friends even though your friends sometimes act like fake friends and just ignore you, and your friends never talk about stuff you like, and your friends sometimes steal ideas you said but nobody heard you but one other person? Sorry if this is confusing to read. Okay, I think I see what you're saying.
They're probably actually fake friends.
I was gonna say, not your friends. So if they're fake, they're fake.
If they're doing stuff like that,
They're not your friend.
they're not.
And stealing your ideas or whatever, in the big scheme of things, who cares? A good friend wouldn't do that, first of all. And second of all, you know, don't be offended if someone steals an idea. It just meant it was a good idea, but don't put up with it either. Like, get better friends.
Sometimes it's okay to let go of fake friends as much as you might like them and want a potentially healthy relationship with them. Sometimes it's better to just let them go, let them grow up, let them figure out how fake they are.
Yeah.
Once people start calling them out on their behavior.
Go watch the toxic
And go,
video.
yeah, and go make some real,
Good friends.
good, trustworthy friends.
Go check out
It's worth the wait.
the toxicity video, because I'm betting your friends are on there. Described to a T. You have any advice on how to make real life friends? Because I have trouble making friends in real life. I find it easier to make friends online, but I'm not really allowed to, and I don't like doing activities without one of my friends because I just sit there awkwardly, and my mom signed me up for sports with none of my friends. Do you have any advice? Yeah, that's a good one. I think we've all been through that a little bit. It's easier to make online friends because they're online. There's less pressure. You don't have to stare someone in the eyes, but that's the problem. You don't get that one-on-one friendship. You know, that
you don't get
bonding.
that. You don't get that in-person socialization practice, because online, the way a conversation can be paced is like you send a message like, "Hi, how's your day going?" and then the other person can respond like 10 minutes later, and it's no big deal. But imagine in person, you say hello, and
We
the
should
other
do that.
person's just like,
We should do that video. If people talk
"Hi."
like online.
You know,
So,
yeah, then 3 hours later,
smile
I don't know,
emoji.
how about you? And it's like, wait, what were we talking about? I don't know.
You have to scroll down and read.
Like, it is harder and potentially more awkward to hold conversations with strangers
It
in
is.
real life.
But you can do it.
But you know, sometimes you just gotta start a conversation, put a vibe check on the person, see how easy it is to talk to them.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll know someone is easy to connect with if they can hold a good conversation with you.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like small talk, like, "Hey, you like sports?"
Yeah. We're sitting here getting ready to play sports.
Yeah, you know, like sometimes it doesn't take a lot to get a conversation rolling. You never know, the other person might have a lot to talk about, and you can just sit there and listen and be
Ask
like, "Wow,
them.
this is great." You know,
Ask them, hey, do you love this sport, or did your parents make you sign up for it too? You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Ask them something that, or if you see them drawing, say, oh, do you like to draw? That's really good. Or, you know, just small talk. Start tiny, you know, and don't be so paranoid about yourself. And I say that because I remember being a teenager, and I was so obsessed with what I thought was wrong with me, and that everyone could see everything that was wrong with me. And as an adult, you look back and go, no one was seeing all that. You know, it's all in here. So just know that all the things you're worried about, no one else is thinking. You know, just be confident. Just be like, hi. Those are
take
great.
this map.
Yeah.
Take a map. Thank you.
Those are great shoes.
That's how I'm gonna make friends now. I'm gonna go up to someone and be like, "Hi, please take this map.
Can that
Take
please,
a map."
can that please be the way, you know, okay, so every Comic-Con we have a special way that we hand out invites to the panels.
Oh
Can
my
that please
God.
be the way we hand out our panel invites?
Yeah. No, the
Well,
next time I do a
please take
panel,
the map.
I'll have someone cosplay a map bot,
And
and
we'll
they'll
be
just
like,
be
"Please,
responsible
it'll be
every
me."
time someone stops us for like a picture or something. We
Take a
usually hand
map.
out an invite to our panel. So they'll be like, "Hi, please take this invitation. Take the invitation. Take it. Free invitation. Thank you. Please enjoy."
Dude, I want to be a map bot.
God, that would be great.
Oh God. All right, guys. Well, thank you for all your questions. We really appreciate it. And you know, when it comes down to it, just keep being you, man. You're the best. You deserve the best. You're valid. Your opinions matter. Be kind. Be nice. Be respectful. Don't start conversations with your parents screaming. You know, even if they're yeah, basically, even though you want to, like, you know, even if they're screaming, just be like, if your parents like, I said clean your room, just be like, let them finish, and then be like, I have a question. Could we maybe not talk to each other like that anymore? I know that's how our family's always done it, but do you think that maybe we could try to grow and not do that anymore? Because it would really make me feel better, and it would bring my anxiety level down, and I think it would make you feel better too, Mom and Dad. Like, could we not? All right, thanks for being here, NightCove.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, be there for each other. See you in the Discord channel, as always, every day. I see you guys there. I love you guys.
Don't forget to check out the link in the description or the pop-up at the end of the video to the other videos in the You Are Not Alone playlist to answer some of those questions we may not have gone into as much detail for because we've previously covered
Answered them. Yep. All right, love you guys. That was fucking creepy as fuck. We did that
I couldn't
exactly.
even see myself
I know,
either.
It was exact. Just wait till you see it. Oh my god.